can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Hello friends, my name is Stevie Cade and welcome to Film Trigger. This is the year of nostalgia. Every movie that's come out this year is really banking on nostalgia to sell tickets. Ghostbusters, Afterlife, Spider-Man, No Way Home, and now the movie that I'm reviewing today, Matrix Resurrections. But before we get started, there's this like and subscribe button right down below. These buttons seem to be on a power trip. Think they control my channel. They've been walking around boasting about it and throwing it in my face all day. So if you could, just go down there and hit them. Hit them as hard as you can with your mouse cursor. Yeah, show them who's boss. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Without further ado, let's dive into my review, spoiler review, for Matrix Resurrections. I am not a huge Matrix fan. I saw the first movie when it came out in theaters. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Never followed the series after that. I like sci-fi to a certain degree, and The Matrix definitely was revolutionary when it came out. It was ahead of its time for sure, and I really respected it for that. And I did see the second one, I think, but it was like really boring, and my interest just fizzled out after that. So let's dive into Resurrections and see if this changes my mind, makes me want to go back and rewatch the whole trilogy. Either way, let's discuss what I like about this film. This fourth dimensional concept of the Matrix hiding in plain sight, where they have Keanu Reeves' character, Thomas Anderson. He's the person who created this game that's called The Matrix. And like the game was the most realistic game ever made. I really like this aspect of reintroducing the Matrix and hiding in plain sight. It makes sense. You can really build a world of just a mind fucked around Neo. You can use the fact that he created these games as a reason why he's delusional, thinking that he lived in these games. Or if he gets like a hint of, oh, this looks familiar. Well, yeah, because you're crazy, because you made the game. You're one of those borderline genius psycho type of guys. And for me, it's really fun to see characters in a movie talk about their own movie. Wes Craven did it in A New Nightmare. That one was a little different. It wasn't the same concept as this, but it's still fun for me to see that fourth dimensional sort of storytelling, if you will. And the movie using mental health as like a deterrent, this world was completely designed to make Neo or Thomas or whatever the fuck we're calling him right now, to make him think that he's a madman, have him desire for more, or almost be fearful of the world that he lives in, which is kind of the point.
They taught you good, made you believe their world was all you deserved.
Which brings me to Neil Patrick Harris being the analyst. This is a very necessary character for this movie, especially to play into this concept, this mental health concept, always reminding Thomas Anderson that he's got something wrong with him in his head. And here, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. And then when you find out that he's the puppet master, he's the main bad guy in this movie, because he was able to resurrect Trinity and Neo, find a specific balance for them. They're close, but they're not too close, and they're not too far away. Key to unlocking great power is having them together.
The most important choice in Neo's life. It's not his to make.
Especially in this new movie where he's using them to power the new Matrix, which is built on desire and fear. Another thing that I like about this movie is it doesn't seem like a forced sequel. Yes, it's kind of like the, oh, okay, we're gonna redo the first movie sort of thing. It was kind of troublesome going into it. It's like, okay, are they really just remaking the first one again? Is that what they're doing?
So, you made the movie. And now you want to make it again?
But it's told in such a way that makes sense to me. It actually hints at a bigger story plot. The fact that this could be a continuous cycle between the Matrix and the real world. Like a pendulum swing. You can't let it go too far one way or another. It starts going too far one way into the real world, the machines will, destroy Zion. Or if it goes too far towards the Matrix side of things, a Neo type of character, the One, will show up and shut that shit down too. That's why there's been other ones. Yes, Neo's supposed to be different, but I'm sure they all said the same thing about the previous ones too. No. You're different than the other ones, I promise. So it makes it necessary for the story to happen over and over again. And Warner Brothers really just let us know that, yes, we can continue making sequels and it doesn't matter. They can continue making these movies forever. The new Zion, also known as I.O., and I swear to fucking God, if any of my Ohio friends yell out O-H and expect me to respond in I.O., fuck you. No way. N-O. Sports. Anyway, I.O., working with machines rather than against them, is a great evolution to the mythology of the Matrix. As before, it was either going to be the machines or the humans, but now they realize there's a benefit between both. I mean, they both did create this world. I mean, you can't have one without the other. The machines need the humans for the energy. Humans can use the machines for knowledge and practicality. And to make strawberries, too, apparently. The realization that Neo and Trinity together are more powerful than the one, which is kind of confusing, because are they together the one? Are they the two? Can they be called the two? But my point is, it's almost like that whole love will prevail sort of thing, that soulmate, that twin flame sort of desire-istic storytelling. And I'm a sucker for those, I like those. I want to fall in love with the one. Anyway, I thought that was a good addition. It brought Neo down a peg and brought Trinity up a peg, and that really balances them out. I thought that was a cool evolution to these characters, and it really puts them on the same playing field.
She believed in me. It's my turn to believe in her.
Now, moving right along with what I'm on the fence about when it comes to this movie. The fall of Zion being on the original Morpheus's, that's a really hard word to say, Morpheus's shoulders. Yeah, because he was very blind. He thought once Neo came into the picture, that was it. It was going to be perfection for the rest of time. And he was wrong. And this movie really brings his mythology down a peg. He didn't think there was anything else to worry about, nothing to plan for, no more wars, no more anything. He was very ignorant to the fact that this has happened over and over and over again, right? Is he ignorant to that? Or did he know that? Like, he should know that this is not the end. Neo is not any more important than the other ones that have come through. And I think that's the lesson that we're learning here. Another thing I'm on the fence about is like this, and this is not like story or plot driven or anything like that, but is this seemingly lighthearted humor that seems to find itself in this movie. There's a couple of scenes actually where it's goofy, it's funny, it's lighthearted, but like it kind of just doesn't fit. But it's not in the whole movie. It's just when they're in the real world. And it almost goes like a little too far into like the comedy bits, like it's just, why are they putting this bit in here? I don't get it. And if you stayed for the post-credit scene, yes, there's a post-credit scene. I don't even want to give that away. Just fast forward through the credits and see that piece of shit. I'll just say one thing. Catrix. Smith didn't really need to be in this movie. No, I don't think so. The Analyst was enough as an antagonist. He was more powerful than Smith, seemingly. And Smith still would have been kind of a part in this movie because when Neo created that Morpheus character that he put into the game, he created him as a hybrid of Morpheus and Smith. So, like, Smith was still kind of there, but they brought Smith back. And I'm having a hard time really wrapping my head around the whole Smith thing, like how he comes back over and over again. I've heard rumors, or I've read articles like he's like some rogue virus or something like this. I don't know. But he seemed very forced. I would have much rather have had like Smith show up at the very end for that unexpected alliance that they had, maybe as a surprise, and then lead him into a sequel. It's like, hey, I helped you out, but I'm still here, and go fuck yourself. I'll see you in the next movie. As for Smith just being a main character and his boss, yeah, it just didn't quite work for me. But with that being said, there's also a Morpheus and Smith cast change. Not sure the reasons why. Don't know if those actors didn't want to come back or they just wrote this movie for different actors to play these characters. Obviously, Morpheus makes a little bit more sense. Morpheus makes sense because he's not exactly the same character, but he is, but he's not. He was created in a different world. Kind of wish they just would have named him something else. And we'll get more into Morpheus here in just a little bit. I mean, they explain it pretty well, but, cast changes, especially with two very iconic characters, is a hard pill to swallow. No pun intended. I was very aware that I was not watching the original cast. Speaking of Morpheus, will bring me into what I don't like about this movie. I really did not enjoy the fact that Morpheus went from agent to Matrix Master Neo Finder. It doesn't explain how much time happened between when he realized that he's Morpheus. Did he come up with that name himself? I don't know. Like, how does he know who Morpheus is? I don't know. I have a hard time understanding this Matrix stuff. It's all really confusing to me. But how much time happens from when he discovers that he's Morpheus to now he's training Neo? Because he seems like he's been doing it for a long time. And I remember in the original movie, he had been doing it for a long time. He had been searching for Neo for a very long time. This guy's like, he literally goes from 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds. Like, oh, I'm an agent. Oh, no, I'm here to find Neo. And now I'm training him. The second act really bogs me down in this movie. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm not really into. We kind of dive more into the Matrix mythology in the second one, which, again, not a huge Matrix fan. So, like, it's a lot of Matrixy gobbledygook that I don't quite understand. I had to watch the movie twice to figure it out. Now, the first and third act are awesome. Like, they really saved this movie for me. I really enjoy both of those acts. The second act was just like snooze fest for me. So, yeah. The Analyst Master Plan Reveal. So cheesy. So cheap. Why are we still doing this in movies? It's like the Scooby-Doo thing where you lift off the mask and haha, that's the real you. You know, and it's overdone. I understand it needs to be done at some point in time to explain what the antagonist's point is, his whole master plan, but do we have to continue doing this? Literally freeze everything as I reveal to you what I'm going to do, why I did it, how I did it, and where we're going from here. Because they need to know, right? No, they don't need to know. We need to know, so find more creative ways to tell us. The last thing I don't like about this movie is Trinity didn't have much to do. There was no pushback, no real revelation, no questioning reality. She's just in the coffee shop a few times. She met Neo. Oh, have we met before? And then all of a sudden, she leaves her family and decides to go with this guy who potentially sounds like a madman. I would have rather have seen her question things more, question her reality more. Have her also be seeing the Analyst as a psychiatrist. Maybe that's how they could have met. Instead of the coffee shop, they're walking in the hallways of meeting with the Analyst, because she would probably need that too, right? Where Trinity was at the beginning of this movie to the very end of this movie, it just doesn't make sense. It's a whole bunch of nothing. Third act, Trinity, you know. So and then she's the one. Suddenly, it just really fast forward with her story arc. Overall, I actually had fun with the movie, except for that second act, which was kind of boring. But that's probably me not being a huge Matrix fan. All you Matrix nerds probably love it, right? Yeah? No? Let me know in the comments. Thanks. But for me, that second act didn't quite work. But the rest of the movie kind of did. It wasn't too far one way or too far the other. Fourth dimensional storytelling was, I thought, a fun aspect that could have gotten really slippery and gotten really messy very quick, but it didn't. It was actually honed up pretty well. I did enjoy the little nostalgic callbacks to the original movie, you know, being played in clips as like almost his memories as he's talking to random people. You used to get a little clip or a little voiceover of the first movie. I like those little things. It really ties these films in together. I had fun with it, and I wouldn't mind rewatching this movie again. Now, am I glad I didn't go see it in theaters? Yes. This is a movie I would definitely prefer to stream at home. But for all these reasons, I'm giving this movie a B.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
There you go, folks. There's my review for The Matrix Revelations, or Resurrections, or I don't know what the fuck they're called. The Matrix Resurrections. Again, not a huge fan of the franchise, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I hear people who love the Matrix franchise are not really loving this movie. Are you one of those? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out some more of my videos, and as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.